Welcome back to Tuesday's Midday. Joining us first is Jeff Matthews with the Children's Advocacy Network. Jeff, thanks so much for being with us.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Well, today we are talking about Coffee with CASA, right?
Yes.
Okay, so what is that?
That's an event we're hosting in a couple of weeks, and it is geared toward folks who maybe think they might be interested in signing up as a CASA volunteer or just want more information. This is a chance for them to learn everything you could possibly want to know about what it's like to be a CASA and why that role was so critically important in our community. And folks who attend will have the opportunity to interact with some of our current volunteer advocates, to sort of get a boots on the ground perspective of what it's really like, the tremendous rewards and also some of the challenges, because really the best way to gauge whether something is for you is by talking to somebody who's already experienced it.
Absolutely, yeah, that's a great thing to say right there, absolutely. So when is this going to be happening?
It's going to be July 1st.
Okay.
It will be at Le Bistro Coffee and Waffle Bar, out on 28 West, from 9 to 10:30 a.m.
Okay, do people need to sign up, register, just show up?
No, just show up.
Okay, so pretty easy. Just show up, look for the group, I guess you would say. You'd probably be able to notice all of you there.
Yes, yes. And you know, as you and I have talked about on this show before, we have a critical need for volunteers.
Right.
We have right about 350 children in foster care right now who have been appointed to CASA and don't have a volunteer. And we don't want these children to fall through the cracks. We want to make sure their basic needs are met.
Okay, and that number keeps going up, right, over time?
Well, there's more kids going into foster care right now, so that number is unfortunately going up.
Okay, so we could see that increase in the next just few months even, possibly.
It's certainly possible.
Okay, about how many volunteers do we have when it comes to the number of children in foster care right now?
So right now we're tracking between 550 and 600 kids who have been appointed to CASA, and about 350 of those do not have a volunteer.
Okay. So
you can do the math, and it's more than half.
Yeah, exactly. So for people who may be, you know, watching right now, listening, and maybe kind of getting the idea in their head, what can they expect to be involved with as a CASA volunteer?
Well, the requirements are not as stringent as you might fear. There is the requirements would be 21 years or older. For obvious reasons, you have to be able to pass a background check. Right. And you have to have reliable transportation, and you have to be able to, you know, the standard is about 3 to 5 hours per month per child. We do have some volunteers who have multiple children, so it's more there, but the real time commitment is on the front end, because you do have 30 hours of training at the beginning. But once you get through that, you know, the time commitment and the requirements are not as stringent as people might fear. And this is, you know, part of the reason why we're doing an event like this, is to sort of let people know, you know, exactly what they're in for, and people who might be intimidated by the thought of doing this, you know, they can sort of get a real perspective of what it's like, and they can figure out if this is something they really want to do. Okay,
and so when it comes to these kids in foster care that are appointed advocates, so what's the age range that we're seeing a lot of?
You know, I couldn't tell you off the top of my head, but it's anywhere from babies to high in their teens until they age out of the system at 18. Okay.
All right, so we're just about out of time, so one more time, just go over where the event's going to be happening, what time, and location, not just whatever location.
July 1st, 9 to 10:30 a.m., Le Bistro Coffee and Waffle Bar. You know, no requirement to sign up on site. Just come on in, have some coffee with us, and you know, hear the stories and really get the good information on what this really entails.
All right, Jeff, thanks so much for talking with us today.
Thank you.
Absolutely. And we'll be back right after this break.